Hello. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Disney Catalogue. Can I get a close-up, producer? We are talking the Avengers. The Avengers. Woo! Look at that. Yeah, we're talking the Avengers. We have the first 4 episodes up. Iron Man, Iron Man 2, Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, and Captain America the First Avenger.
So 5.
And if you're wondering why we're wearing the same clothes, it's because we don't give a poop. No, we record these right after one another. Okay, so the Avengers. There's a lot to get through. There's a lot to unpack, and there's a lot to talk about. God bless me. So as far as Avengers, this had to have been the crown jewel of what we were seeing at that moment.
Oh, at the moment? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. This was the first one made by Disney.
Yes.
Disney had acquired the rights after, like we talked about last episode, Captain America the First Avengers, and you're bringing these superheroes together in a way that was never seen on film. And yeah, this is the crown jewel at that time, for sure.
Yeah, and then you get a lot of hints at future stuff. This is our first time we see Thanos. Mm-hmm. It's the first time we see an Infinity Stone actually being used for world domination. Also, this battle is the one that really sets up every single movie. You can't go out through a Marvel movie without talking about the Battle of New York.
Yeah, that's
Always.
True.
Sometimes when you get into Age of Ultron with the Sokovia, but this is how Vulture got his start. This is how a lot of villains rose because they now see the Avengers as not giving a crap.
Yeah.
They don't care that they killed thousands of people in this battle. They got to go home.
Yeah, this is our first introduction to Mark Ruffalo's Incredible Hulk.
Yes, Mark Ruffalo's Incredible Hulk.
So he comes into the fold. He did a really great job. We get our real first taste of what Hawkeye can do. And Dr. Eric Selvig returns.
Yep.
Which is really cool to see him come back.
We get a lot more action sequences out of Hawkeye, which we got a lot out of Black Widow and Iron Man 2.
Maria
but
Hill.
Not that much. Maria Hill, Colby Smulders, a.k.a. Robin Scherbatsky.
A.k.a. Mommy.
So that's about a rundown. Thank you. I'm just kidding. Overall thoughts of the movie. Where does this rank for you? How did this change your perception on where the Marvel Cinematic Universe was going?
So this is the one that really put everything into perspective for me. Like, oh man, this is when I learned that a cinematic universe is happening. Because when this movie came out, we had already known they were continuing on with these characters in part 3s and part 2s and even new movies to follow, like the Guardians of the Galaxy. It is up there for me after watching the series and new movies that have come out. It is, and this is no disrespect to this movie because it is up there. It's not bottom tier, and it's, for me, this is higher middle tier, but it's, for me, for my taste and my money, it is my least favorite Avengers movie.
Really?
Yeah, just in grand scope, it's still really good. Like, it's in my top 15.
It's in my top 10, I think. Not top 5. I think it's in my top 10.
Probably like lower top 10.
Yeah. I'm actually going to see where... I should actually just keep my Letterboxd open.
I was thinking about that too. I should have done that for Captain America, and I will tell you where I have Avengers, and you tell me where you have Avengers.
Okay. So, my Avengers... Oh, it's not... It's in my top 15. It's not my top 10.
Oh, interesting. So...
Just because we just recorded First Avenger, Captain America, that sits number 5 for me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. It sits... Captain America First Avenger sits number 17 for me.
Okay, that's not bad. My 17 is Doctor Strange. My Avenger sits at number 14.
My Avenger sits in the top 10. Very low. Yeah, low end top 10.
Yeah, mine's number 14.
Mine's number 10.
Interesting.
So we're both kind of real close to each other on this. Still, according to my list, it is my least favorite. But we'll get into why that is when we talk about the other Avengers movies.
Yeah.
Because these Avengers movies should all be kind of talked about together.
Collectively.
But we'll talk about Avengers by itself. We'll talk about Ultron and then tie in Avengers, and we'll do the same thing with Infinity War. Talk about tie it in. We'll continue to tie back.
Yeah. But so for this movie, for me, it was the first time that we've seen something on this grand scale. So we've seen multiple movies back in the, before Marvel Cinematic Universe was created, where you do have movies tie into other movies, but nothing so far to where you have 4 movies connecting into one movie.
And still
all
have a
different
future
solos,
out.
and still have a future planned out. You tease Thanos at the end. You have Loki. He gets imprisoned on Asgard. Asgard? Oops. Oops. Asgard.
Loki, where are you?
But yeah, that shot came into play in Loki in episode 3 or something like that. So as far as this, I mean, you get Captain America, you get Thor, Hawkeye, Black Widow, Iron Man, Hulk. It's just wild.
Yeah, it's full of action, which I love.
And I thought Loki was a great first villain.
It was interesting, like Loki being the big bad to the Avengers when he was the big bad in Thor. It was weird that they kind of threw him back, but it makes sense now looking back at it, like why that was.
Well, he's just power hungry. You saw that in Thor.
But Marvel knew what they were doing so early on. They knew Thanos was going to be a later bad. We didn't know
big bad.
But we didn't know it was going to be about 8 years later until that was the
When
case.
I saw the movie, I had no idea who that dude was. I didn't know who Thanos was.
Yeah, so it was cool to get a first look at him. He's changed drastically, but there's a lot going on, and especially it's really slow for me in the middle, but it's really strong in the beginning and in the end. That's where I think it slows down. But I love the last half. Love the first half.
Yeah, the middle where you're talking about is like where Thor jumps on the helicarrier, and then like they all three have that fight. Yeah. And then, when they're taking Loki as prisoner, that was all kind of low stuff.
Yeah.
And then you get the big action sequences.
Towards the end.
Nuts. The visual effects and...
Really good.
Everything was so good. Favorite moments?
Oh, that... favorite moments. There's... So I'm going to go the 2 big ones. And that's going to be probably Hulk... really revealing himself as Hulk when he says...
I'm always angry.
Yeah, and then he punches
that,
and that's somewhere in here probably.
Yeah.
He punches this
It's
thing.
literally the next scene.
The T'Chari ship, which comes
just
back.
Punches straight in the face.
It's the coolest scene. It was the coolest thing I've seen. Anything with the Hulk in this movie was done wonderfully. Like, the Hulk was just raging out, which is what you want to see from the Hulk. You just want to see him
and Mark Ruffalo
things.
Played such a good Bruce Banner.
Yeah, so that scene was definitely my favorite. And I love the forest scene where they're trying to debate...
bring the hammer down?
Yeah, and then he slams it on Captain America, big old explosion, so it's like a 3-way fight between your 3 main,
most
Avengers.
Powerful Avengers.
Exactly. So that scene was really cool. And I'm sure there's multiple. The Thor Hulk fight on the ship was kind of interesting, but it's the Battle of New York scene. That's probably the big takeaway here.
Yeah, that's it for me too. I do like the introduction to Loki again, where he's actually being summoned to do this mission, to get an Infinity Stone and to wipe out Earth before, I guess, Thanos could get a hold of it, because he had one Infinity Stone in his possession already, and that was the Mind Stone. Mm-hmm. And that's what's in Loki's staff, which he can alter their minds. That's where Eric Selvig and Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye, they come into play with that mind control.
Yep.
I do like that we see a lot more of Hawkeye. Especially one of my favorite scenes is when he's on the rooftop building, and he's like hitting him, and then he gets like an alert or something, someone talking to him, and he's like looks around and he just does this and just hits him. That was so cool.
Yeah, him jumping off the building and shooting the arrow. That's a cool shot.
That was tight.
Yeah, that was a really cool shot. There's some smaller things in there that I think are really good too.
Yeah, some little banter moments.
The shot where... This shot, right here.
Oh my god, that's my favorite scene right here, where the camera pans in a circle.
It was cool when they
and
brought
you
that
see
back
all that
in game.
in game. Yeah, that was really cool.
I think they brought it back in Loki. See episode 1.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. Another thing that I liked, and it's kind of a small, I guess just like jokes, like with Tony Stark, and he's like, "Oh, Agent Coulson's here," or "Hey, Phil," he was like, "I thought his first name was Agent."
Yeah.
Just like Robert Downey Jr. stuff, and then you get a lot of future references to Civil War with Captain America and Iron Man just not seeing eye to eye, and you really don't ever get that through the entire cinematic universe.
Exactly.
They always are butting heads with something.
What was that scene where he goes, "That man's playing Centipede"?
No, that plant's playing Galaga.
Galaga.
We didn't think we noticed, but we did.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is on the facts, but the food that he would bring on set, Joss Whedon didn't like that, and Robert Downey Jr. had food stash everywhere, and he would keep eating it. That was hilarious.
Let's say this though, Avengers is a great movie. We like the movie. Joss Whedon's does not matter. Yeah, we don't care about what Joss Whedon doesn't like.
Yeah. Oh, what's another one? I had another one. It was
Here's a fun fact. I don't know if this will be in the facts, but I wanted to bring this up because I'll bring it up in a minute. Go ahead.
What was I saying? It was I liked the Black Widow and the Hawkeye fight on top. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Where he it's when he's riding the helicarrier with Loki or to go get Loki. Is the window closed? Other one. There we go.
Get that noise out of here.
Oh, I wonder if it was like picking up all of the... I totally forgot to close that window. Oops! It was when they're riding in, when they're going to save Loki, and like Hawkeye just does this, and like sees where the air is going, and it's all
crazy
straight into it. And then when they drop Thor on that cage, and he's like trying to get Mjolnir, and he just goes out. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then of course the shawarma scene. That's always a good time. And then this scene was cool. He's like, "I'm bringing the party to you guys." Anyway, that was some cool stuff. Character chemistry. How did you feel with them having all their solo movies? How do you think they all...
That was pretty good. I thought...
You
I thought it was done really well.
Like, you believed them?
Yeah, handling multiple different characters in a big movie like this. I thought they did a really good job. I think the best chemistry in this movie was Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans. Mm-hmm. I think they had the best chemistry.
Totally.
I don't think... I still didn't think the chemistry between Renner and Johansson was there yet, but you can see it was building, and I think it just gets better. And I'll say that, especially in Civil War.
You can tell that they're old friends.
Yeah. It gets better as the series goes on, even more so in future movies.
Are we enemies now? He's like, depends on how hard you hit me.
Yeah.
In Civil War.
Yeah. But I thought the chemistry was fine. I think they all... I thought it was really cool. You know, you're bringing together these superheroes that have different powers and strengths and stuff like that.
And they come together.
And they're not used to working together. They're used to being solo. So, of course, there's animosity there, which is why you saw the fight between Cap and Thor and Iron Man. And then you saw the fight between... well, they were more mind control, but you saw the Hulk-Thor fight with Scarlett Johansson trying to run away.
Oh, yeah. When she's calming him down, like, Bruce, don't. He's like, get out of here!
Yeah.
To top off on what you just said, I think that the chemistry between Tony Stark and Bruce Banner was better than Steve Rogers and in Iron Man. That's just my opinion. I thought they meshed really well, and
I'm not going to disagree with that, but I think they mesh better in a different movie, which we'll go over in the future.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
What else? As far as... because we already talked about Hawkeye. I was going to get into Hawkeye a little bit about how we see more of his character. We get a little more backstory on Natasha. We hear about...
Can we talk about our weaknesses of the movie? Then?
Oh, yeah. We didn't even talk about our weaknesses in the last one.
That's okay.
Son of an ass.
Let's talk about the weaknesses here.
Okay, go for it.
I think Natasha is the weak link here.
I do too.
Because I'm... First off, Black Widow's not released yet. And by the time you hear this episode, it won't be. A couple more days, folks. No, it'll already be out.
It'll be out.
Ah, see, this is what happens when we record early. Look at us.
Look at us. Just look at us.
Ant-Man. She was the weakest character. She progresses better. Hopefully, when we see Black Widow, that'll change. Like, it did change, but when we see Black Widow, hopefully we get an idea of her own movie. Like, it'll prove to everyone that she does deserve her movie.
Correct.
We do have 2 reviews on the website. You can check them out. They're both positive reviews, so I'm going to assume that Natasha deserved it, and I think she did. The trailers look awesome. Mm-hmm. But in terms of Avengers, she was still, I think, trying to find her groove in this franchise. As far as I know, she didn't get along with Joss Whedon all that much.
Nobody did. Joss Whedon is...
Yeah. Do you know the character they wanted to use instead of Black Widow?
Wasp?
Yep.
I read that too. Or I heard Captain Marvel was one that they wanted to introduce in this movie too.
Captain Marvel.
Or no, that was Avengers Age of Ultron. They wanted to introduce Captain Marvel.
Yes.
My weaknesses was definitely Black Widow. Phil Coulson was... I liked his character in the previous films. He seemed out of place.
Oh, see, I thought it was that moment should have been a part of the good things because I forgot his death scene and
his death scene's amazing
and how it impacted the Avengers and how he was like a key piece to bringing these guys together. It wasn't just Nick Fury; it was like Phil Coulson was the first one to approach these Iron Man and Black Widow characters and brought them together. So
true.
It was really impactful there. I guess if you're looking at it overall in terms of characters, he might be one of the weaker ones.
There's a lot of issues I had with dialogue as far as how cheesy it was, where he locks Loki up and he's like, "Ant, boot," and I was like, okay.
Yeah, there was some cheesy moments.
Like the whole $10 bet where they fly, and I was like, it just doesn't hit.
Yeah, no, I understand. I actually agree with that too.
There's some cheesy like dialogue scenes, but I mean,
it's
as really far as the movie is, it's very saturated, and I like it. It really pops all of like their colors, like the greens, the blues, all that stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah.
But as far as I don't really have a lot to gripe with on this movie, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said earlier, it's slow in the middle.
Yeah.
For some reason, you just want to... There's so much dialogue, like cheesy dialogue going on in the middle it's almost like filler.
Yeah.
And I don't like filler. I understand sometimes you have to do it, but that probably been my huge gripe, is a lot of the filler.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think overall this is a solid movie. Like I said,
it's one of the best for me.
Yeah, it's not. Like I said. It's, even though I think it's the weakest Avengers movie, it's still in my darn near my top 10.
Yeah,
like that just tells you how good of a movie this is.
And I think why I love it so much is not only because it's very well done, but
it's just fun.
It's all of your favorite heroes, and these are not popular characters.
No.
And you still had a kick-ass movie with these guys. There's
Hawkeye.
no Spider-Man. There's no X-Men. There's no Fantastic Four. You get characters like Captain America and Iron Man, who people didn't really know about until this Marvel Cinematic Universe kicked off. You don't know who Black Widow is. The Hulk. That's it.
Yeah, because
not even Thor,
and only Hulk, but not only because of the show, but because of the Eric Bana movie, and everyone's like, "Oh, they're doing a new Hulk."
Yeah, well, the show has a lot to do with it too. It's one of the best Marvel shows to be in that era.
Thor was known but not known, and Hawkeye,
when you hear Thor before the Thor movie, you think of the Norse god, not the Marvel.
And with Hawkeye, you had to have been a comic book fan to know that Hawkeye was.
Yep.
Ended up being Captain America's new right-hand man.
Fury, Loki,
the
Chitauri, Thanos, nothing. I
think we've talked about
no major stuff.
We talked about this before. There's a straight-to-DVD Nick Fury movie?
Yeah, it has, it's David Hasselhoff.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Weird.
And it's got a Maria Hill in it. I don't know who plays Maria Hill, but it's a David Hasselhoff Nick Fury movie.
Alicia
Silverstone?
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
Okay, so we don't have any questions this time around because we didn't have enough time to ask. But, facts?
Yeah, let's do it.
Some facts. Where are we at time-wise?
19.
Well, not bad.
Our Captain America: The First Avenger was longer. I guess we just like this movie so much that we don't really...
It's hard, and the more we get into these, it's gonna there's going to be so many episodes. People have to realize that we still have, like...
And this is just
We have
supposed to be like a
20
short episode to listen to.
Yeah, we have 19 more movies to go.
Not to mention, by the time we get to the end, we'll have probably...
Black Widow,
We'll have
Shang-Chi.
Eternal, Shang-Chi.
And then by that time, we have to jump out of Marvel and go to a different Disney property.
And every time a new Marvel movie comes out, we got to put it back.
Yeah, we got.
But we have different... There's a way to set it up.
Yeah. Well, we're going to figure this show out a little more, I think. I think that'll be...
Yeah, we're just taking it easy right now.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here. Okay, so this is a cool fact, but this is probably well known, but this is still cool nonetheless. The Avengers grossed over $1.5 billion worldwide, became the third highest grossing movie during its theatrical run, as well as the first Marvel production to generate $1 billion in ticket sales. Thank you, Disney, for marketing the crap out of it, bringing on a great team, except Joss Whedon, and making this movie something special. It's definitely worth the money.
You don't bet against the mouse. That's just how it goes.
See? This is what I was just talking about. Robert Downey Jr. kept food hidden all over the lab set, and apparently nobody could find out where it was. So they just let him continue doing it. In the movie, that's actual food he's offering and when he was eating. It wasn't scripted. He was just hungry.
That's hilarious. That's some Robert Downey Jr. stuff. Yeah,
totally. There were very few times that everyone was in town at once, but on one night when they were, Chris Evans sent them all a text simply saying, "Assemble," which is the tagline of the movie. Clark Gregg has stated that this was his favorite text message that he ever received.
That's awesome.
And we didn't get "Assemble" until Endgame.
Which is crazy to me, that they never
Where
said
they cut
Assemble.
it. The blooper, too, where it's like, Avengers,
Ultron.
cut in Age of Ultron, and then like the scene plays out in the blooper, he's like, Avengers? He does one of those. Gwyneth Paltrow is notably barefoot in all of her scenes in Stark Tower, while Robert Downey Jr. is in 3 or 4 inch platform shoes, so he looks taller than her. Oh,
weird.
Hey, find out how tall Robert Downey Jr. is, Dom.
Well, that's like Tom Cruise. He wears platforms to be taller than a lot of the people he's in movies with.
Yeah.
Like, he had to wear platforms when he was near Henry Cavill for Mission Impossible.
It says he's 5'9". There's no way.
Gwyneth Paltrow has to be like 5'10", 5'11" then.
Yeah, she's tall.
It says 5'9", but he's supposed to be really short.
I think Tom Cruise is 5'9", too.
Well,
A few years ago, he was listed as 5'7".
You get, like, heel surgery or something?
He's probably closer to 5'6", and probably added those inches on. Who knows?
Oh.
There you go.
How tall is Gwyneth Paltrow? Sorry for the dead air.
5'9".
Oh, yeah, you can't be...
she's 5'9".
You can't be... Okay, and you know she would wear heels for some of the flashier scenes. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's like when
we be the same height
boys.
as Gwyneth Paltrow.
Oh, when we were doing Comic Boys, our friend Matt was one of our video producers, and when we were doing our movie reviews, we had him stand on bricks because he's short, and Jericho, our other video producer, was tall, so we had to make them equal because Matt didn't reach the center of the freaking green screen.
Jeez.
Anyway, he gets so like anal about that too. He's like, "Stop making fun of my bricks."
My dad was a parole agent, and one of his office buddies was Robert Downey Jr.'s parole agent. And he would see him come to the office a lot when he worked in El Monte.
Is this when he was doing his drugs?
Confirmed he is short. Yes.
Oh, he confirmed he was short.
That he was short. He told me that he was super short. But
Wow.
I don't know. My dad's also kind of tall. So.
Yeah, your dad's pretty tall. Okay, so reportedly Iron Man's "Let's Just Not Come In Tomorrow" speech was improvised by Robert Downey Jr. As with "Doth Mother Know Thou Weareth Her Drapes."
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. is a gem, man.
Yeah.
Nobody could have played Tony Stark better. Let's see here. Well, this was also a fact that I'm pretty sure we said in The Incredible Hulk, but the studio actually, or Louis Lederer wanted Mark Ruffalo for the role of Bruce Banner in the Incredible Hulk movie before Edward Norton was cast. So, Robert Downey Jr. asked the Marvel production manager permission to take away the letter A that was on the Stark Tower with him, but the manager didn't allow it. However, on his next birthday, the manager gave it to him as a gift. The big Avengers A.
What?
I don't know if it's like huge.
That's crazy.
I don't know if it's like... Well, I know that John Stamos has one of the original letters from the original Disneyland sign. He has the big D.
Yeah. Yeah, he does.
Does it say how big the Avengers A is?
And it's in a hole, right? So I really want to know how big his a-hole is. Avengers.
Oh, God.
Avengers. Now assemble, if you know what I mean.
Oh, God. Okay. The shocked expression of Loki after being slammed by the Hulk was created by animation director Mark Chu, shaking Tom Hiddleston violently and repeatedly.
So funny. Someone on Twitter said in Loki, so spoiler alert if you haven't seen the newest episode of Loki.
You should have. We're like 4 episodes in now.
When Loki's in that time loop with Lady Sif, everyone said that time loop should have been the Hulk just thrashing him.
Oh, that would have been hilarious.
That's what I read. That would have been cool.
To prepare for the role of Hawkeye, Jeremy Renner was trained by Olympic archers, so that's pretty cool. Hawkeye is an ambidextrous archer, although Jeremy Renner is left-handed. He's seen shooting right-handed in the Thor movie and both left-handed and right-handed in the Avengers.
He's a southpaw like your boy.
Yeah, I'm a southpaw too, sometimes.
Like your
I throw
boys.
with my left. But I don't do anything else with my left hand. Oh.
Oh!
Not what I meant.
John Stamos.
Not what I meant.
That's after we talk about John Stamos' big old Disneyland deed.
And this is
funny.
Supposed to be our family friendly.
Yeah,
one.
this is. I'm sorry. Yeah, we gotta keep this one family friendly.
Okay.
Sorry, no more.
At least they're like not on the nose. You know?
You really...
Well, for people our
if
age,
your
it's very
child
on the nose.
knows what we're talking about right now, shame on you. And do better.
There are 2 spoken references to early Incredible Hulk comic covers. When Captain America is giving orders, he says Hulk smash. Of course, his big catchphrase. And then after the Hulk thrashes Loki, he says puny god. Another reference to the oft-repeated Hulk phrase, puny humans.
Yeah, nice.
Samuel L. Jackson's role as Nick Fury in the Avengers makes him the second actor after Hugh Jackman to play the same comic book character 5 times. Now, Samuel L. Jackson obviously holds that record.
Yeah.
In what? Freaking 11 or 12 now?
And it
Something
might
like
even
that?
be more than that.
Yeah. The Hulk bringing Iron Man back to consciousness by roaring at him was improvised by Mark Ruffalo during his motion capture performance.
Crazy.
That's pretty cool.
And I believe Lou Ferrigno was still the Hulk voice. I don't think Mark Ruffalo
No, he wasn't the Hulk voice until Ragnarok.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Which by the way, I prefer Ferrigno.
Yeah, I like...
Because Ferrigno does it more ferociously, which I like. Edward... I was about to say Edward Banner. Good God. The Mark Ruffalo version's more yelly talky, like human yell. It's weird.
Yeah.
No disrespect. I still like the whole
Tom Hiddleston revealed in an interview with The Guardian that codename for the movie early in its production was Group Hug. So there's your...
working title.
There's your working title. Stark casually referenced 3 of the 4 main characters, Loki, Thor, and Hawkeye, as either movie characters or movie titles. He calls Loki Reindeer Games, Thor Point Break, and Hawkeye Legolas.
That's so funny.
Okay, sound editor Christopher Boyes has stated that he went through a complicated process to make the Hulk's voice. The final product turned out to be a combination of Mark Ruffalo, some Lou Ferrigno, and a little bit of Boyes, and 2 people from New Zealand. What in the world?
Well, it's like the Jurassic Park T-Rex, where it's like a lion, a cow, a goat, all shoved into one, a bear, I think.
Yeah. There was going to be a brief fight scene between Iron Man and the brainwashed Hawkeye, acting as a nod to the fact that Hawkeye started off as an Iron Man villain in the comics. I did not know that.
Interesting.
What the hell? I did not know that he was originally a villain.
Iron Man would have, like, in Avengers, in this movie, for now, until I'll change my thoughts when I see Hawkeye. But Iron Man would have swept the floor with him, by the way.
Wow. That's crazy. In the movie, Captain America is a founding member of the Avengers. In the comics, Captain America was unfrozen in Avengers 4 when he was accidentally discovered when the team was looking for Namor, the Submariner.
Who is coming back for...
Black Panther Wakanda
Or
Forever.
actually, not coming back.
Coming in.
Coming in.
Thor's knocked off screen 4 times, twice by Iron Man and twice by Hulk. That is hilarious.
See.
Excuse me. When filming the scene of Loki yelling at the Hulk, Tom Hiddleston had a rope tied to his leg, and since the Hulk is just CGI, when the rope was pulled, it would appear that Hulk Gad grabbed him. Tom knew he was Gad grabbed him. Oh. That's what it says. Okay. Tom knew it was going to be pulled during the speech, but he didn't know when, so that he wouldn't be anticipating it. That's cool. Thor spends most of the movie in his Asgardian armor, but with bare arms, as a nod to his early appearances in the comics.
Which they're doing again for Love and Thunder.
Yes. During his time on the helicarrier, he is also seen without his tape, which is an allusion to his Ultimate Comics appearance.
That's cool.
I think cape. It says tape.
I knew what you meant.
It says tape. Yeah. Last but not least, the CGI Hulk's body was marveled. Ooh. The CGI Hulk's body was modeled after Long Island bodybuilder Steve Rom, while the Hulk's face was modeled after Mark Ruffalo, which makes sense. That's
why his face changed throughout the movies.
The what?
Steve what?
Steve Rom. R-O-M-M.
Let's see what Steve Rom looks like.
Bet he's yoked as hell.
Yeah.
Yoked. That looks like an older Damien Chazelle.
That looks like an older Nick Johnson.
I guess there's not that. Well, there's a couple of them on the
Weird.
right on the left hand side. Now he just probably steers straight into the skid of Hulk. He's like, yeah, they modeled the body after me, so now I'm gonna go to Comic Cons.
Yeah.
I was the inspiration for the Hulk body. Cool.
Yeah, here's $40. Give me your autograph.
Dude's ripped, man. All right. Anyway, we have no questions this time around. We probably won't ask questions until this gets caught up on a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
But whatever. So again, check out the YouTube since you're here already. If you're watching the live video podcast, if you guys are on audio, come check out the video podcast. See the faces behind the voices.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of new material on the YouTube channel. We have episode 52 of the DisInsider Show on here, which is now available for everyone. We have a lot of cool news from the castle stuff. There should be two episodes dropped by then. Well, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. What else? Go to thedisinsider.com. Follow follow the DisInsider on all social media platforms. Like and subscribe on this video. Turn on that notification bell so you get notified when all of our videos drop. Give us reviews on the podcast apps.
We will read them.
We will read them on air. Follow me on Twitter at Derek Cornell, but with 2 I's instead of L's.
There you go. You can follow me, Skyler Shuler, 2 L's instead of I's.
Never gets old.
Same thing.
But that'll do it. Yeah. So we'll see you for Iron Man 3 next week. See you in the castle.